Imagine waking up one day and not being able to pick up a cup with one hand, and in a month having symptoms spread to both sides of your body. Your symptoms will continue to worsen until one day, 24/7 one-on-one nursing care is needed. This is the reality that people diagnosed with Parkinson's disease face. We sometimes take for granted the ease that we're able to complete simple tasks, but people suffering from this disease are fighting a lifelong battle. It is important for us to take an active role in supporting people with Parkinson's and to help spread awareness of the symptoms and effects that this disease brings. Now, just think if it was your loved one battling this disease. Would you not want to do everything in your power to help them? Therefore, support is needed to help those fighting this lifelong battle, and awareness for those who may be experiencing these symptoms of early tremors but stay undetected and undiagnosed. Today, we're going to provide you with some information about Parkinson's. First, by explaining the symptoms of the disease and the biology behind them. Next, we will detail the relevance and impact that this disease has in our society. And then, we will discuss how we can take an active part in supporting and helping those in need. We will then present a challenge that will help you to understand what is it like to live with Parkinson's.
To start, we will explain how Parkinson's disease affects over 1 million Americans who suffer from it. According to an article published in the Journal of Neurology, Neurosurgery, and Psychiatry in April 2008, the disease starts to appear around the age of 60, with a resting tremor that appears in either a hand or a foot, and it slowly develops into a more serious illness. You can see an example of this resting tremor in the video. Beyond the resting tremor, people with Parkinson's have bradykinesia, or slow movement, which means that they have difficulty initiating movements and difficulty stopping movements. Their muscles also become increasingly rigid, meaning that they do not relax and are very stiff and inflexible. As the disease progresses, people have a harder time standing and have frequent falls. Beyond these physical symptoms, patients with Parkinson's often have dementia, depression, anxiety, hallucinations, or delusions in the later stages of the disease. According to an article by the National Institute of Health Senior Health website, last accessed on April 23, 2016, all of these symptoms are caused by the lack of dopamine in the brain. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter, or a chemical messenger, that helps send signals from one neuron to the next. When patients have Parkinson's, the neurons that produce dopamine in the basal ganglia, or the part of the brain that controls body movement, die. This leads to the basal ganglia losing its ability to control purposeful movement. And unfortunately, scientists do not understand exactly what causes these neurons to die, or how to cure the disease. In a few cases, the disease is genetically based, but most of the cases seem to affect people relatively randomly. For the people who do become sick, doctors are able to manage symptoms by giving drugs that mimic dopamine, or by inserting electrodes into the brain to provide palliative care. But they are not able to slow the progression of Parkinson's. Now we're into treatment that will actually stop or reverse the disease.
While there is no cure as of yet, those who are able to get a diagnosis are able to better their quality of life with the previously mentioned treatments. Once diagnosed, the patient can also gain access to resources that can help them deal with the added pressure to their everyday lives, such as hospice workers to help them through their day. The psychological symptoms that Claire mentioned, including anxiety and depression, can come from the inability to complete daily tasks that the patient was once able to do on their own. This causes them to become frustrated and stressed regularly. A diagnosis can also help them find psychologists to help them understand and make the best of their situation. Next, we can see the disease's prevalence in our society with the following statistics from the Parkinson's Disease Foundation website, last accessed on April 4, 2016. As many as 1 million Americans live with Parkinson's disease. This number has shown to be continuously increasing with the size of our elderly population. The same source continues by saying approximately 60,000 Americans are diagnosed with Parkinson's disease each year, and the number does not reflect the thousands of cases that go undetected. This leads to an estimated 40,000 people in America alone suffering from this disease without knowing what they are suffering from. Tens of thousands of people are feeling their bodies stiffen and slow, making every day more difficult and more painful. The aforementioned Parkinson's Disease Foundation webpage states that an estimated 7 to 10 million people worldwide are living with Parkinson's. This shows another gap of about 3 million people worldwide who are suffering without knowing. Because these are just estimates, no one really knows how many people out there are actually suffering in silence. The gap between those that are getting diagnosed and those in the shadows is due to the lack of education and awareness of this disease. By spreading awareness of this disease, we can not only reach those who are not aware of the disease and get them to speak up and get help, but we can get more people involved with donating. With a more widespread knowledge of this disease, we can help find a cure that will be able to save these patients from Parkinson's debilitating effects on their bodies. Hopefully, we could reach a point in the future where you wouldn't have to watch your loved ones constantly suffer without being able to alleviate their pain. It all starts with us doing something today, and we are beginning this journey with our mediated challenge.
In order to gain support and awareness for Parkinson's disease, we decided to propose a challenge that mimics some of the effects of Parkinson's disease. Specifically, according to the American Parkinson's Disease Association, last accessed April 19, 2016, one effect of the disease is the loss of fine motor control, including the ability to perform activities such as using utensils or buttoning clothing. Therefore, our challenge is for anyone who is challenged has to perform his or her morning routine while wearing oven mitts on his or her hands. The oven mitts eliminate the ability to use fine motor functions. By using the oven mitts over participants' hands, the loss of fine motor function is mimicked and makes it harder for people to go throughout their days. Participants will wake up and put on the oven mitts. They will then continue to brush their teeth, pick out an outfit, get dressed, put on makeup if applicable, make a bowl of cereal for breakfast, and attempt to eat it. This will allow the participant to get a better idea of what it's like to live with Parkinson's disease, and specifically understand what it's like to lose fine motor skills due to the disease. Participants will videotape their experience wearing the oven mitts and going through their morning routines. When they complete the task, they will then nominate 3 other people to complete this challenge. If a participant chooses not to complete the challenge or cannot finish the whole challenge, they'll have to donate an amount of money of their choice to the National Parkinson's Foundation, which can be found at www.parkinsons.org/get-involved/ways to give. The money donated to the National Parkinson's Foundation goes to help fund research, programs, services, and more to help those suffering from Parkinson's disease. The National Parkinson's Foundation works to help those suffering with the disease, as well as to help find a cure. More information on Parkinson's disease and the National Parkinson's Foundation can be found on their website at www.parkinson.org. The goal for this challenge is to spread awareness about Parkinson's disease and give a little insight on one of the symptoms of the disease. This will help people to understand the effects of the disease a little better. Additionally, another goal of our challenge is to raise money for the National Parkinson's Foundation. Those who do not participate in the challenge after being challenged will have to donate to the foundation, helping to raise money in order to one day find a cure and help those who are currently suffering with this disease through programs and services that make their lives much easier. Those who participate in our challenge will understand how hard everyday activities are for those suffering with the disease. By not having fine motor function for a short period of time, participants get to experience a symptom of Parkinson's disease, and they're able to better empathize with those who are affected by this disease. Please help all those affected by Parkinson's disease by bringing awareness to the disease, by participating in our challenge, and by donating to the National Parkinson's Foundation.
Don't like stab your eye.
There we go.
I don't even think I'm gonna do it.
20 minutes later.
Stop, the train is riding down to the station where I live. When I was a cool kid. Hey, is it my fault that the falling embers burn down in a spiral round your crown of things? My body tells me no, but I won't quit, 'cause I want more, 'cause I want more. My body tells me no, but I won't quit, 'cause I want more, 'cause I want more. Yes, yes,
I feel like getting it all the way.
it's my road, it's my road, it's my road. It's my road, it's my road, it's my road. It's my road, it's my road, it's my road. His eyes are open, his eyes are open. Oh, 'cause I want more.